Hello and welcome back to the UTF podcast. It's episode number 10.
Double
Today-
figures.
It is double figures, yeah. Quite a chuff for that one. Today we're talking about football. Big news story in football this week, wasn't it?
Massive. Arsenal have decided to, I should say Arsene. Arsene has finally decided to leave Arsenal Football Club. I think the majority of the fans are happy, but you have the ones who are disappointed too. What do you think about that situation?
It was the right time. Well, to be honest, I think the right time was probably
years
2
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
But, things with Arsenal have gone stale, and obviously this season they're not going to qualify for the Champions League, for the league anyway. They might do for the Europa League, but not for the Premier League. So, I mean, for Arsenal to get back to where they were as a top 4 side that are challenging for the title, they needed to make a change. And yeah, they needed a lot of players to come in. They need a lot of strengthening, but also it's been the coaching, the style. It's got a little bit stale, I think. And yeah, maybe 2 or 3 years ago would have been better to preserve his reputation a bit better. But
especially when you won the FA Cup that first
yeah,
time.
but when you keep going, you're going to keep just grinding that reputation down into the dirt until the point where, And the rumor has it that he was basically given an ultimatum. They said the board told him that he would be sacked at the end of the season unless he resigned. So it's better to resign and go out as a hero and get this big fanfare that he's getting now than it would be to finish 6th in the league and then get sacked. It just doesn't.
If they did win the Europa League, it would be a perfect send off for him.
It would be nice,
and it'd be nice for him. I think he deserves that.
It'd also be good for the club because it sets them up with a decent platform for whoever comes in to at least go, right, well, I've got the Champions League football.
And
I don't need to resurrect them as such. I can just build on from what he's left me.
Yeah, there's already plenty of names linked as well. I think it's one of those prime jobs that a lot of people will want. Even the ones who are in jobs at the moment would look at it and maybe put an application in.
Yeah, well, I mean, from a selfish point of view, I mean, Paulo Fonseca's the player that the manager that Everton are most heavily linked with. It's who I want to be during the summer. And the rumour has it that even that job's turned his head, and he's interested in Everton. He's expressed that, but most managers that are interested in any job, if Arsenal comes available, they'll go for that if they can.
Because even though they're in a poor position now in the league, and they say they do win the European qualified for Champions League, they have got some good quality players there. Obviously, you've got Aubameyang and Lacazette up front, got Ozil, Aaron Ramsey, Mkhitaryan, Koscielny's still a good player. There's a few positions they need to strengthen.
Ramsey's a good player.
I did say Ramsey.
Did you?
Yeah. A lot of Arsenal fans
You're Welsh. You wouldn't have missed that.
A lot of Arsenal fans want him to be captain as well, which isn't a bad shout. He used to be captain of Wales before Ash Wills, but
Is captain out? Is it Koscielny?
Is a Czech majority of the time, but maybe
So Koscielny hasn't been.
Mertesacker the club captain, but he never plays. So.
And he's retiring end of the season.
Yeah, so they'll have to pick a new one next year. So Ramsey could have that if it goes to plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arsenal just need to replace a few defenders, probably a new goalkeeper as well, and another solid centre midfielder, and they should be alright. To be fair.
Yeah, I think especially midfielder. I think if it looks like they're going to lose Jack Wilshere.
Good. He's not good enough.
Biased.
It's not biased. He is not good
No,
enough.
because you're the only one who says he's bad. Every England fan accepts, or most England fans that I know accept that while he is inconsistent and his injuries are a problem, when he's fit, he's a great player. But you seem to.
No, but even when he's been fit this season, he's been crap. He's been awful.
He hasn't been that bad.
He has. He's been
He's
dreadful.
had mixed times, but it hasn't been.
He's
awful.
had a couple of decent games in the Europa League, but other than that, he's been awful.
No,
When he's played in the league, he's been
I think
dreadful.
you're overselling that a little bit.
He has been
Either
dreadful.
way, they've got Ramsey, they've got Xhaka, who's been disappointing this season, and then Wilshere's leaving, so they definitely need strengthening in the middle.
Well, Elneny's come into form a little bit, but they need someone, if they want to push for the league again, they're going to need to replace him.
Oh, yeah. They need to get the name that I see linked a lot is Abdoulaye Doucouré, who I think would be a start, but I think you need to have maybe like a marquee name come in there. They've spent all this money on Mesut Ozil and Sanchez and Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang over the years, all these forward players. They need to spend a lot of money, a 30-40 million pound player who is a defensive midfielder.
But do you think they need a defensive midfielder over a centre-back? Because I think they need a controlling centre-back.
Yeah. You mean a ball playing?
No, they haven't got really anyone who controls the game. Dominates the defence, really, like they used to, like when you had Sol Campbell there and Tony Adams.
Do you mean more of a ball playing one, though, or just like a out-and-out defender?
Out-and-out defender.
Oh, okay.
Because Koscielny can't play. Can't play. So I think
his injuries have been a problem this season, though, being fit.
Yeah, so he's only played when he can, really. But they need a proper defender who can take control of the game, especially when their back's against the wall. So when the silly goals they are conceding against Newcastle.
That's what Mustafi was meant to be, wasn't it?
Exactly, and it hasn't worked out as well as they hoped it'd be. But yeah, I think they need to get a proper centre back in who won't let the silly goals happen like they did against Newcastle.
Yeah, no, I see that. You also hope they just hit the ground running with Aubameyang, and if Lacazette stays, because he could go. He hasn't had the best seasons. You never know. If they both stay,
I think
it'd be good to try and formulate this, good partnership between the two. I'm excited to see who takes the job though.
Yeah, there's plenty of names linked. Obviously, you've got the free agents like Luis Enrique and people like that. But then you also got
Carlo Ancelotti.
He's been linked with the Italian job as well, so I'm not sure which one he would go for.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luis Enrique would be a decent shout. But then you also got the youngsters who haven't really got that much experience, like Arteta, who's got no experience at all.
Yeah, all he's got is coaching under Pep Guardiola,
which is not a bad coach to learn from, but
true. He has won the Premier League. He's been part of the Premier League winning side this season.
So and then you got Patrick Vieira, whose only job has been with New York City. He's done alright there. And then you got
that's who Wenger is earmarked for the job.
Yeah, that's who Wenger wants. Which is not surprising, really.
Yeah.
And then obviously another name linked with more experience, who's not actually a manager at the moment, but he's at RB Leipzig and he's director of football, I think. There, Ralf Rangnick.
He's managed before in the league.
Yeah,
he was
Wolfsburg
manager before because he was linked with Everton when we got rid of David Moyes. Yeah, it's interesting that.
It wouldn't be my first choice to go for.
I think when you got the likes of Luis Enrique and Carlo Ancelotti as free agents, and then you have people like the other name they were linked with earlier on in the season was Leonardo Jardim from Monaco. When you have these sort of managers now that are managing and doing really well and they're top of their game, what's the point in getting someone who's the director of football to come out of that role and change what they're doing? I mean, as good as he's been as director of football with Leipzig, I don't know how you pronounce it. He isn't a manager at the moment, so his best period at the moment isn't as a manager. Why would he? He's not necessarily going to come in and do a great job.
No,
I think it's definitely a gamble. And also, for me, Arteta and Vieira are big gambles as well.
For me, yeah. If I was Arsenal, is it a time to take a gamble? Probably not. I'd say they should probably try and go for Luis Enrique.
The only other manager just come to my head, they've been linked with him before, is Diego Simeone.
Yeah.
Reportedly, he was interested in the job back in the day.
He'd be number one. If you can get Diego Simeone, I think Arsenal would rise back to where they should be. But it depends, can they really get him out of the contract at Atletico?
Yeah, probably
we'll have to wait and see. But
to me, the number one target would be Luis Enrique.
Yeah, I agree. And then after that, maybe you could take Patrick Vieira as a backup option. But if I was Arteta, maybe you could also take Arteta. Arteta could probably leave Man City and go with Luis Enrique as an assistant, maybe something like that. That could be a decent option. So then Arteta can learn from Enrique if it doesn't work out.
I'd rather come back to us. But...
Honestly, your love for Enrique is quite high. But not Enrique, Arteta. Sorry, that was meant Arteta. But yeah, it's,
some fans made the strange call that next season we should have Tim Cahill as the manager and Arteta as his joint manager. Not sure that's the way to go.
I don't think they're using their heads when they say that.
Yeah, that's more of a heart pick, I think.
Especially considering Tim Cahill's still playing for Millwall. Yeah. He just got banned for 3 games for
violent conduct. Gotta love him.
Typical Tim.
What do you think Wenger will do next then? Because there are rumours that he's confirmed that he's not going to retire. He's still he wants to go into management, but there's also rumours that he could take up a director of football role at a different club.
But there's a few rumours. There's rumours that he could be linked with PSG at the end of the season.
Although that looks like Thomas Tuchel.
That looks like it's going to be Thomas Tuchel taking that job. But he's also been linked with you, isn't he? There's a lot of rumours that he could either be the new manager, or there has been a slight rumour that he could possibly take up a director of football role at Everton Football Club. What would your thoughts be on either of those roles, actually?
I'd take him as director of football. I think... unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for Steve Walsh in the 2 years he's been in the job, and it looks like he's going to get sacked anyway, regardless of what we do with Wenger. Marcel Brands from PSV is the name that's being linked with the job most heavily, but if we had to take someone like Wenger in that role, it'd be great because I think he's got this wealth of experience, he knows what he's doing, and he could be a good leadership person there, and also he has the contacts and the what's the word? Respect. People respect him all over the world. It helps if you're trying to sign all these new talents and you're having to deal with a man like Wenger who is respected across world football. Not as a manager for me. I think, and it's not. I've seen some people say online that that he's not good enough for Everton Football Club, and I think if we're going to look towards the Champions League and our Champions League ambition, which obviously we're miles away at the moment, but that was what the plan was for this season at the beginning. If that's what we're looking at, he's not the man, because if he can't get Arsenal, who've got a much better side than we have, into the Champions League, he won't get us into the Champions League. But he would be good for us now, just to stabilise us get us 6th maybe, or 7th, back into that top 7, because at the moment we're obviously floundering in 10th, 9th. So I wouldn't take him as a manager, and that's mainly because of his age. He's obviously in his late 60s, early 70s, somewhere around there. Allardyce is also an older statesman for the current Premier League managers, and I want someone who's young and hungry, who's going to come in and really have a point to prove with the club and really sort of transform it and make it a dynasty, which you won't get with someone who's near the end of his career. So I'd take him, but just not as the next manager. I think it would be a step sideways as opposed to a step forward for the club.
Do you think maybe if France have a poor World Cup and they decide to sack Didier Deschamps, could you see Wenger trying to take that job? Because I think that could be a perfect job for him. Obviously, his national team, he's getting on a bit now. He's 70 odd.
Yeah, it makes sense, I suppose, because also as someone who's a bit older, it probably would be quite good for him not to have the day-to-day life of a football manager. Obviously, if you're the France manager, most of your time you're going to be scouting players and watching football, and you don't have to turn up every single day and do training. Although saying that, he still takes training. He's still a fit bloke. He I mean, it depends on what he wants. Maybe he likes that whole everyday lifestyle of a club manager.
Well, he's always said, hasn't he, when Ferguson retired, he said when Ferguson retires, he can go to his horses, whereas I'll probably just keep going to watch football games. Yeah, 'cause football is his life. So that you can see why he'd probably want to stay there if that is what he wants to do.
I'd like to see him go back to France. I think PSG, maybe even director of football there. I'd believe that, because PSG, they're a club that have got so many good players, but they're always on that cusp. They just can't break into that top 4 of
Europe.
Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus. They can't break into that. Not Atletico, Bayern Munich. Sorry, they can't break into that top 4. So if they got a new manager in Thomas Tuchel, Hungary, wants to make his mark, and they had an experienced head as a director of football, maybe he could break that glass ceiling and take them to the next level. So that'd be a good idea for me. But also, he was manager at Monaco before, so
you could always go back there if
Jardim left, whether it was towards Arsenal or anywhere else, you could always go back there.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout at all. Any of those suggestions, really. I think you'll still stay in football.
You'll still get
next
a job,
season.
Yeah.
You'll get a job.
He's still a good enough manager to get a top job.
But you did mention the European top 4. Speaking of the European top 4, Liverpool and Roma, first semi-final last night.
Don't remind me.
Mohamed Salah, he's a genius, isn't he? He just is. Do
you know what? All season long, I've been saying that Kevin De Bruyne deserves Player of the Year, because he has been the best player in the Premier League. And even when they gave Salah the award last week, I was like, you can't argue that he doesn't deserve it. Yes, De Bruyne has led his team to the title, but Salah's been so good.
43 goals in one season.
43 goals, yeah. And he is it 1 away from breaking the record for Premier League goals in a 38-game season?
Yeah, he's got 31 joint as Ronaldo.
Which he'll get that. Or you'd expect him to get that in the next couple of games. Yeah, it's painful to watch, because as far as I know, from people I know and people at the club at Liverpool, he's a nice bloke, and I don't like it when Liverpool have nice people playing for them, because it means it's a difficult job to hate them. But he's so good. I only watched little bits of the Roma game yesterday because my nerves wouldn't be able to hack it, and it made me feel sick, to be honest, to see them absolutely decimate Eusebio Di Francesco's side, because with the form they've got at the moment, especially offensively, they could win it. They could win it.
I was in the pub watching the game, obviously, as per. But yeah, they were Liverpool. They were quite quiet. They were quite quiet for the first half hour. They were trying to it was like they were trying to work Roma out. How were they going to attack them? And as soon as they realised that, it was just dominance from there on out. Salah, 2 goals, 2 assists, just an incredible player. But
it was an onslaught.
It was, and someone who deserves a lot of credit as well is Roberto Firmino. He's kind of under Salah's shadow a little bit, but he's been excellent this campaign as well, especially in the Champions League.
One thing you must say though is I think Roma deserve criticism for last night as well.
Yeah, they played such a high line.
They played a high line and they played a back 3 anyway, against a team like Liverpool, who are renowned for their speed in the counter attack. I think it was Firmino's one of Firmino. Wait, I don't know did Firmino score 2?
Yeah, Firmino scored 2.
I don't know if it was his first or second. There's one when the ball's coming down the right byline, and you see whoever's playing left fullback or left wing back for.
Oh, but left wing back.
For Roma.
It was left wing back.
Goes gunning out for the ball, and completely misses his opportunity, doesn't make any impact, and then there's a whole great big channel there now that's open with 3 central defenders against 3 Liverpool attackers. They've got the pace, they've got the space,
they've got the quality as well.
You're asking for it then, and then Salah just slides it through to Firmino.
The thing I don't get with Mohamed Salah is it's a bit like Arsene Robben used to be. You know exactly what he's going to do. You know he's going to cut in on his left, but you just can't stop it. Especially the first.
You're right, that's what Robben did every single time. This is cut in,
and it just works. And I just don't understand how you can't stop it, but you just can't.
And the goals are incredible.
Oh, especially the Salah's first one. Oh.
I prefer the second one because to me that was Messi-esque. The amount of confidence just didn't get over like that over Alisson, and who's a great keeper, mind.
It's something Mane should have done because before that Mane had a chance 1-1 when it was 0-0. And he smashed it over the bar. If that was Salah's
had a poor season though, which is
you say he's had a poor season. Still, look how many goals he's got.
I'm saying he's had a poor season. My dad says he has a poor. My dad, a Liverpool fan, reckons he's had a poor season because his touch isn't great.
If that's his poor season, I wouldn't mind having a player like that to have a poor season every year.
Yeah, it's not been poor, but it's been poor when you compare it to the likes of Firmino and Salah, who have been fantastic.
I just think Mane, if Mane can do that now when he's been poor, imagine what he can do next season if he just improves his form again.
Well, if they had the Southampton Mane, like his best season at Southampton was his best season in the Premier League, I think. His best season at Southampton, he obviously didn't score as many goals because he was in a less, quality in the side that he was in wasn't as good as it is now. But his individual performances, I think, were.
I think last season was his best season as well in Liverpool. I think he was incredible last year. He actually, he was the Salah for Liverpool last year.
He's now the all-time highest goal scorer out of Senegalese people in the Premier League.
Good stat to have.
Took that over this season. I don't know. There aren't that many, but Demba Ba's been here for a
while.
Bar
was there, yeah.
Papa Cisse scored a few for Newcastle. So
it's a good record to have.
Taking that over.
But yeah, I think Mohamed Salah is just insane. 43 goals one season. His first season as well. In the Premier League supposed to be a league that's hard to adapt to, and he still scores that many goals. I think that's at the moment on form. Obviously, he'll have to do it consistently over years to be on the same level. But on form this season, he is on level with
It's
Messi
probably the first time in a long time that someone has legitimately got an opportunity to win the Ballon d'Or. That's not Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, Barcelona have been good this season, but Messi hasn't exactly had
his best season.
And Madrid all round have had a disappointing season. I know, disappointing by their standards, should I say?
In the league, yeah.
Yeah.
In Champions League, they've been excellent. Yeah.
Champions League, they can rise to the occasion, but in terms of the league, they've had a disappointing season by their own standards. So if ever someone's going to beat them, it's now. And like you said, the amount of goals he scored this season, coming straight into this team, having to adapt to the league again, because he never really got a shout for Chelsea. It was 10 games he played, so he hardly adapted to the Premier League when he was with Chelsea. He's come in and he's been so good that if he won the Ballon d'Or, you couldn't complain.
Exactly, yeah, and he's missed so many chances as well, so he probably could have had about 50 goals by now if he actually took at least half of those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's an insane player. Also, I want to move on to a bit more good news for myself.
Just really quick, do you think he'll be at Liverpool next season?
Yes, I think he'll be at Liverpool next season, but if he scores 20 plus goals again, I know he's got 40 odd this year, but I think if he has at least 20 next year, it's a good season for him to back it up, and I think then maybe in the summer he'll move on.
I think he'll stay and fight for the Premier League title, and I think if Liverpool don't at least contest it next season, then he'll go the following season, because I think he knows, or he certainly should know that he's got the ability to win titles.
Yeah.
And Liverpool might win the Champions League, but they haven't won anything else, and he should win titles.
Agreed. Yeah, good news for myself. United into the final of the FA Cup on the weekend after beating Spurs 2-1 at Wembley. I'm actually surprised, to be honest. We actually had a good second half. I didn't expect it, to be honest. I thought the last time we played them at Wembley, we lost 2-0 and they just obliterated us. We were awful that day. Mourinho seemed to have watched that game back and realised we needed 3 midfield, so it's what he went with Herrera, and Herrera was excellent. He obviously got the winning goal as well. Yeah, it was just good to see, because the first half we were quite poor still. As soon as the second half, we were incredible. It's the best I've seen Sanchez playing a Man United shirt since he signed. Herrera was quality. Smalling and Phil Jones were incredible at the back. I don't think Harry Kane had a sniff all game. Yeah, I think good news for us, and I think we should beat Chelsea in the final. But the worrying thing for Spurs and Pochettino is they're going to be this nearly team. They have the quality, but if they don't win anything, the players are going to leave, and that's a worrying thing for their fans.
I don't think it's just the players. I think Pochettino will leave.
Yeah.
If he can't get it to work, there are so many other jobs that will take him. He's already been touted for the Barcelona job, so I don't think he'll stay around if he can't win titles.
It's not even titles. They can't even. They keep getting to any silverware. Yeah, they're just not winning anything because they keep.
Given the last 5 years and how well they've performed, they should have at least had one cup to their name.
Yeah, even if it's a Carling Cup. Well, it's not called Carling Cup, but Carling Cup or
it is the Carling Cup.
Yeah, or FA Cup. At least one of those they should have won. But a lot of people might say bottle jobs, which on some occasions they are. I think against Juventus they did bottle it, but I think against us, it wasn't a bottle job situation because you actually faced another good team and just with inferior on the day. Whereas against Juventus they did bottle the job.
Bottle job is used too much. It should only be really. It's only a phrase really when they just don't turn up.
Yeah.
Don't rise to the occasion. If you're rising to the occasion but you're still well beaten, you're not a bottle job.
I just think Spurs, I think against us, it wasn't a bottle job. We were just a better team on the day. Whereas I think against Juventus, they did bottle it. Obviously it's good for us for in the final. And for us to be a successful season, we need to win this FA Cup. Because second's not enough.
Get successful.
No, second's not enough. Without winning the trophy, no, it's not enough. Especially the disappointment.
Not even because you're obviously it's still a rebuilding process from where.
Well, no, because for example, losing to Sevilla in the Champions League, that is
disappointing.
Very disappointing. I think we need to at least get this trophy. We won 3 last year, so we got to at least win 1 this year. So it'd be nice to see a win us the FA Cup, and we should.
Won 3 last year.
Yeah, if we include the Charity Shield, but
okay.
we had the Europa League in the end.
Yeah, okay.
But it'd be nice to see us lift the trophy at the end of the season, and we can build on that towards next season. Then,
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. It does seem like second is great, but it's poor if that's all you get. Runner-up medal is not what you want, really. It's not the prize, but at least it means you're going to be moving forward well with sort of this rebuild process to get back to where you were when Man United were a dangerous team. I mean, now it's getting back to the point when you are a lesser side like Everton and you draw Man United in the league, you think, oh, that's not going to be a great game. Whereas the last 2-3 years, it hasn't really that big of a deal.
Yeah, exactly. We need to get a reputation, build a reputation back. Yeah, and that's what we need to get to. And for Mourinho to do that, he needs to sort out his attacking in the team because we need to start attacking. And basically, what Liverpool are doing. Everyone's scared of Liverpool's front 3 now. If every defender in the league is going to be scared of versus Salah.
At the moment, as an Everton fan, I'd only really be scared of if we're talking like cup or something. I'd only ever be scared of drawing City or Liverpool.
Yeah.
United are getting there. Chelsea are getting there, and Spurs for us because they're our bogey team. But yeah, I get what you mean. You need to really get to the point where every time you play Man United, you're thinking this is probably going to be a loss.
Yeah, and that's the stage we need to get at. Hopefully Sanchez can continue what he did on Saturday because he needs to. For me, 'cause he hasn't been good enough since he signed. So if he can do that, then I'll be happy, and hopefully we can move on to next season and challenge even more for the title because City ran away with it this year.
Yeah, also for the neutral, it'll be good for it to be a bit more competitive.
And Liverpool will be involved as well next year more. So
joy. Just what I need. That's what I need.
Obviously, you did beat Newcastle on the weekend. So that's one positive for yourself.
Oh, joy. Yeah.
Mean anything to you?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I saw fans on Twitter saying it's the first time in a long time they've come away from a game with 3 points when it felt like a loss. At the end of the day, season's done. All I want is for the manager to be sacked, and if he can't be sacked now, then at least for the last 4 games, mix his squad up a little bit. Excuse me. Give some other players some game time. I've said it over and over again, so I won't bleat on about it too much. But David Klassen, he doesn't even make the bench. If he's going to be here next season, I want to see what he can do. If he's not going to be here next season, give him game time so people will actually see him and go, oh look, I'll buy him. Because at the moment, no one's going to pay. We paid 23.16 23.6 million for him. No one's going to buy him for anywhere near that, given what we've seen this season. So give him a chance. And the likes of Benny Beningame, why not? If he's come on the last 4 games in a row,
especially
start a game.
Especially how awful Tom Davis has been recently.
Yeah, and had a great run. And then Dominic Calvert-Lewin, why not? Even if you're going to play 2 up top for the last 3 games, why not? Just play him. Yannick Bolassi's been poor. I'd be quite happy to see us play 3 in the midfield, play Walcott behind Tosin and Calvert-Lewin. It might not win the games, but at least we're giving some of the younger players more game time. Bring Funes Mori back to the team. He hasn't started again this season. Come back from a big injury, and all he gets is a couple of minutes when he comes on the end. What's the point? Play him. Just at this point, I'm such a defeatist with Everton. I don't like. We went to watch a movie the other night when the Everton game was on, and I didn't care less about missing the Everton game. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to next season. Starting again.
Fair enough.
Sam Allardyce will be gone. I am praying, and we can just start again.
That's fair enough.
The one thing I would say though is, journalists need to stop writing articles. I'm not going to rant because I could rant, but I'm not going to rant. Journalists need to stop writing articles about how he is misunderstood, and how he's not appreciated, because he is fully understood, fully appreciated for the fraud he is, and he's not good enough, and he needs to go. And I'm not going to have any of this. Wow, Everton fans, what do they want? What more do they want from their club? We want to win games. We want to perform well on the pitch. We want to not be mocked by our own manager. So just, if you're a journalist and that's what you're being paid to do, stop it. Because I'm not having it anymore. It's awful. Do your job properly. Just stop it. Yeah.
I guess we'll end with that then.
Yeah.
That's all for...
I just can't go. This season has battered me. It really has. Roll on next season when Liverpool hopefully don't win the Champions League.
That's all for the 10th episode of the football section of this CTF podcast. Hopefully you'll enjoy this one. Look out for our boxing and rugby ones to come as well. Hopefully you'll enjoy all three, and we'll see you next time.